Hello everyone, I'm probably Superman, and the reason you're not seeing an Empire Total War screen is because there was something of a, well, mess up with Camtasia really. So this was where we left off, and we were at war with Sweden. We had a Danish army here that was moving up towards Sweden, and everything was going pretty well, and that was where I started the filming, and it was all being recorded, everything was fine, and these, it all went normally, and I did all the stuff that I did in that video. And then when I stopped recording, it looked like it had saved it, and it saved a proper camrec file, which is the file that Camtasia saves the videos and sounds as one big file. And but when I opened it up in Camtasia Studio, there was, well, I couldn't put the camrec file onto the timeline. And when I tried, because it's got a little function where you can extract the camrec parts from a file, when I tried to do that, I just got the audio. There was no pictures, there was no visual. So I mean, I might try and do a little bit more grappling with it. Sorry about this. Go away. I might try and grapple with it a little more, try and get something out of it, but I don't think there's anything that I can do. So I'll endeavour to tell you what happened in that playing session, because I have no way to get that playing session back and play it again. It's already been done, but in future I will save before I start recording, so should something like that happen again, I can always just play through again. So we left off here with Denmark over here, Denmark there, and Norway, and Sweden here, and we were at war with Sweden, and we had our army here that was line infantry, 1 unit of militia, 1 unit of pikemen, 1 unit of provincial cavalry from the fort, a lot of line infantry, maybe 8 units, and a general's bodyguard and 2 regiments of horse. So that was our army, and we were moving up to Stockholm. I think it might have been the winter of 1706, I'm not sure. So we were on our way to Stockholm, and we moved up to about there, and then it turned out that Sweden had quite a big army right about there, and they also had a reasonable garrison, like 3 or 4 actual units plus militia in Stockholm. So I parked the army over here, and I thought, okay, I'm going to wait for them to come to me so they don't get all the militia from the cities. And this was basically I didn't really have another army. I had a small garrison in the fort and a small garrison in Christiania in Norway, and I had 2 regiments of militia in Copenhagen. So they didn't appear to have another huge army, so this was going to be the deciding battle of the war, which is why it's even more annoying that you guys can't see it. So I waited here. But yeah, we can play FIFA in a bit. So I parked myself here, and I ended the turn. Now the Swedes moved a small army in here, and they raided some forests, some logging camps or whatever, but they just sat there and didn't do anything. And the big Swedish army, they split themselves up into 3 or 4 small armies, which is really strange, and then they attacked me. So there was 1 small army that actually attacked me, and then there was 3 small reinforcing armies that would all turn up. And so with the battle, which is about here, I basically decided to attack really early and destroy their small army here before their reinforcements could turn up. And so I did that pretty quickly. I used my cavalry to destroy their flanks, and that allowed me to move my line infantry up. And even though they were kind of able to collect all their reinforcements into one army, they didn't have bayonets, so I was able to get them into melee and annihilate them. So the Swedish army was effectively destroyed, but they pulled back to Stockholm, and then they all went out of Stockholm and left it alone. So there were only the militia in Stockholm, and I was able to take the city with no casualties at all, really. And that was basically what happened. The Swedish Navy sailed around and blockaded a few ports, and Hanover declared war on me, but they didn't actually do anything, and they weren't joined by any of their allies. So that's what happened, and I'll try and get a proper video up soon. Sorry about this, everyone.